What's up? This is Akua. The title of this video is Stop Raising Monsters and Start Raising Monumental Beings. What I mean by that is we need to, one, overstand and understand what that means is to have a greater acknowledgement of and a greater acceptance of the blessing of being a parent, the blessing of being a influential factor in a child's life. So the first thing that I want to discuss is just taking the role serious, taking the blessing serious. Can you see me? Not that it really matters, but just taking the blessing more seriously. We need to be much more intentional with our children in such a way that when something happens, when your child acts out and you now have the opportunity to teach them something, that's what you need to do. And you don't need to act out of anger. I know that it's a very strenuous position. As much of a blessing as it is, it can be strenuous, and especially in these times and days that we're living in. So you have to be mindful that you're not taking your day out or your life out on your child when they do something, but you need to think of how can I most effectively implement some discipline right now to teach them this lesson so that this doesn't happen as often or doesn't happen again, so that you understand, you over and inner and everything else. You have the continuous acknowledgement that you are shaping a being, and to know in these days and times just how critical it is that you say things that are effective to your children. We need more critical thinkers. We need all of our children to be critical thinkers. But knowing that this video isn't going to reach everyone, knowing that some people may see it and not care, knowing that I'm just one person trying to share some experiences and some things that may have happened to work for me or others that I know, that there are few that will be taking their parenting serious and developing critical thinkers. So we need all of your children watching this, or the children that you know or you have any influence over, to be a critical thinker. When a child is a critical thinker, the programming of the media and other entities have a harder chance of getting through. They have a much harder chance actually programming your child. Now, living as an example of what you expect out of your children is the absolute best thing that you can do for you and them, because they could see living proof of this thing that you're asking. If you say that I don't want you to be a liar, then you turn around and lie. Your children see that, they're like, okay, so it's good for you, it's not good for us. Or maybe I got to be a certain age to lie. Okay, I get it. So you want to make sure that you are exemplifying the kind of behavior that you want to see out of your children. You also want to make sure that your children have such a level of respect for you that rarely ever do you even actually have to put hands on them or do something drastic, because the fact that you're disappointed in them is almost just as hurtful, because they admire who it is you're trying to be and what you expect out of them. For my son, the most often form of discipline that I share with people is the fact that I tell him one day myself or another author will write a book about him. What does he want in this book? Does he want this book to be a book where parents will say, okay, I'm going to read this to you, and this is how I don't want you to be? Or read this book, this is how Samari was. Learn from Samari's challenges and his triumphs, and that will get him like on point almost every single time, because he'll be like, I don't want this in my book. No, mom, wait. So think of a way to effectively discipline your children. The other thing is you need to cater to their genius. What does your son want to be? What does your daughter want to be? What are they good at? This could be their calling that's creeping out at an early time. Or this could be something that leads to whatever their purpose is. There's so many people that haven't experienced things, they haven't traveled, they haven't tried things, and then now they're an adult and they're just now trying to paint. They're just now trying to write scripts. They're just now trying to be an architect. Who knows what it is, because they spend so much of their time just playing. There's constructive playing, where the child is still learning at the exact same time and not just doing something while you are preoccupied somewhere. I see, sweetheart. So, we need to raise our children to be the kind of community members that we want to see here today. If we want to see more practitioners, if we want to see more teachers, whatever it is that we know that we're going to need as a population that plans to be here, we need to create these. We need to create them. I see. Okay, just one moment. So that, that's my daughter, leads into another thing, how you talk to your children. We always tell our children to watch their mouths, and we need to watch our mouths as well. And what I mean by that is, don't just say anything to your child. You need to be very intentional on what you say. Your words hold a lot more weight than you think. They may not tell you, they may not know how to express it, they may not feel comfortable expressing it. But the way that you talk to them, if you talk to them like they're bothering you on a regular basis, they're going to feel like a nuisance, and they could act out in a different area. If you talk to them like little babies all the time, they're not going to expect much of themselves. I'll make that for you in a moment. The list goes on, and you need to make sure that you acknowledge them when they speak to you, so they feel like little important beings as they are. And they could then grow up with this significance of I count and I matter. And they're not necessarily looking for the approval of others. They may want the confirmation that they're on a righteous path, but they're not looking at doing, just ridiculous things to get attention. Because they have a more solid sense of what their life is about, that they have a purpose, they were created for something, that they're important. So I just wanted to, once again, make this video to, as I said, you can have one. I'll have to make it for you, though. The importance of intentionally creating monumental beings and not just allowing them to grow up to be monsters. The other thing I wanted to lightly touch on was compliments, and I've posted about it. I talked about sexy for adults or whatnot. We need to be very careful about the compliments we're giving children. I can't tell you how often that people tell me that my daughter is beautiful or pretty, my son is good looking. That is not what a child needs to hear. Every child is beautiful, one. So, what about the child that just happens to not be socially attractive and hear that on a regular basis, but they hear other children get it? We need to influence them to do more of the righteous thing. Ask them a question, inspire them in some kind of way, share a tip, give some advice. You as an older person having this interaction with them, you would be amazed about how effective that you might be in telling this child something like, hey, well, what is it? Do you know what you want to be yet? Are you listening to your mom and your dad? Are you this? Are you that? You know what? Did you dress yourself? You look very well put together. You look very polished. Give them something that encourages them doing the right thing, and not just that you happen to be socially attractive, and I acknowledge that. Yeah, you're cute. All children are cute. So what? And what is it going to do? How's it going to get us out of this situation? How is it going to improve us as a community? Oh, you're attractive. You're going to help us repopulate the planet, because I bet a lot of men want to get with you. I don't get it. And trust me, I said it. I used to say it all the time. And I had to go through the experience of being a mother and on the receiving end to fully get how unconstructive it really is to just continuously only tell children they're attractive. You can tell your child that they're gorgeous, they're this, that. That's fine. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you would like to encourage them to be other things outside of just beautiful. They want to be a good wife, a good leader, a good protector, things of that nature, so that when it's time for them to grow in and fill those positions, they're proud to do so. They've always been told, you know what, I bet you will make a remarkable husband. The way that you help your mother, the way that you do this or that, I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. How you blossom or whatnot. Or give them a quiz. Do you know who did this? Okay, next time I see you, I would like you to remember that, or look into it. I will make it. You just have to be patient, okay? Okay? Thank you. So, duty calls. My important person needs me at this moment, so I will go ahead and end this video. But once again, I just made it so that hopefully you'll get from this to be more intentional with children you interact with and children that you're raising, be it that they came through you or not, you are influencing a child somewhere just when they see you and have any kind of interaction. So this is not just for parents, but especially for parents. So I thank you for your time, and please check out my website, which is www.seedsbookpublishing.com. I'm a children's book author and a speaker. If you're interested in contacting me for any speaking engagements or to order books, you can inbox me so I could give you another email for the speaking engagements, and go to my website for the books. And look out for Queen Nzinga, the People's Queen, which is my third book being published through my company, Seeds Publishing. Hotep.